Hi, I'm Janice McLean DeLoatch, and I'm bringing you a special segment at the Washington Hilton with the CivilRights.org Foundation. And we are going to meet some of the key leaders and point people in this arena who are still fighting and standing for justice and truth for equal rights and equality for all citizens. This is going to be a great conference, and I hope that you'll enjoy the show. Stay tuned, and we'll be back.
Welcome to Sizzling Bombay. I'm Chef Mahendra. Please come to our restaurant and enjoy authentic flavors of India with great atmosphere, friendly staff and great food. And enjoy live belly dance every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. Please visit us at 2108 Emerton Road, Suite 3, Bel Air, and like us on Facebook.
Find a way for us and our children to be among the people who share the American dream. The people who are well-fed, well-read, well-led, and well-wed. Despite the accomplishments of the Civil Rights Movement, we, the people who fought against slavery, segregation, and Jim Crow, must rise up against racism and economic inequality. We, the people, must work together as brothers and sisters across racial lines to make our communities and our country a better place for our children and for generations to come. It is time now for us to give a death blow to racism. Let us work together to make that happen in our lifetime. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sherrod. I do believe you got a longer standing ovation than Bill Clinton did. Don't tell him, because you know how he is.
Here I have with me tonight the award winner, Miss Shirley Sherrod. Hello.
Hi.
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. I have heard such wonderful things about you. And let's talk a little bit about how you got started in civil rights and human rights.
Well, you know, it started for me over 46 years ago, rather. My father was murdered by a white man in the county where we lived, and he was never prosecuted. I made a commitment on the night of my father's death that I would stay in the South and work for change. So that's what I've done for more than 46 years now.
Now, when you say work for change, in what capacity have you done that?
It meant starting with the civil rights movement in my own county, helping to organize that to fight the injustices there. It went from Baker County to throughout Southwest Georgia. It involved actually starting a land trust. We had 6,000 acres of land to give people who were being put off the land owned by whites the opportunity to have a place to go to when that happened, when they fought for their rights and had to find a place to stay. We lost that property through discrimination from USDA, and I started working with the Federation of Southern Cooperatives, helping farmers in Georgia and then throughout the South. Later being appointed as Georgia State Director for Rural Development. Yes, I was the first,
that's right.
first person of color to have the position.
That's right.
And, you know, I went after that thinking I will do this, I will try to do the very best job that I could do. And I was going about that work, targeting the poorest in the state and really helping to make sure rural development's money was put where it needed to go. When, of course, a blogger took some of my words from a speech.
I was not going to bring that one up.
Yes, and just sort of turned my life totally upside down.
But you know, I don't believe that anything happens by accident.
Yeah.
Now, tell me, as a black woman today in the civil rights arena, how much work do we still have to do?
Oh, we still have so much more. You know, we thought we had solved the problems when we gained the right to eat anywhere, sleep anywhere. You know, when we gained some rights. And then I'm sure when we elected a black president, everyone thought the job is certainly over.
Right.
But it seems that it just brought everything out that had been swept under the rug. It really pointed out the fact that we really did not solve our problems, and we really have not figured out how to exist in this world together.
Now, if you had to pinpoint two key issues right now that need help within civil rights, what comes to mind?
Oh my goodness, there's so much
I
at
know.
this point. When you look at education,
Yeah.
you know, when you look at incarceration of black males.
And women. It's
Yes.
becoming more prevalent with women. And I won't
Yes.
even tell you about the scenario that I went through, because I know it was only because I was a black woman with a voice.
Yes, and so there's so many things we need to work on now, and at this point we really need to look at how we can network with our Hispanic sisters and brothers, our
Right.
Native American sisters and brothers, our Asian Americans, our Native Americans, all of the groups. You know, it's to our advantage to come together to work on these problems and not just think we can solve them by staying in our communities and doing some work on them. It's going to take an effort of all of us.
You know, God bless you. I'm so thrilled to be standing here next to you, and thank you for all the years, and you continue to work. And you know, we're gonna keep fighting. We got some work to do. Okay, thank you. All right, guys, that was Miss Shirley Sherrod, who was the award winner this year at the Leadership Conference, and a dynamic woman. So, my pleasure. I'm Janice McLean DeLoatch, and we're at the Leadership Conference in Washington, D.C. Thank you.
Welcome to Sizzling Bombay. I'm Chef Mahindra. Please come to our restaurant and enjoy authentic flavors of India with great atmosphere, friendly staff, and great food. And enjoy live belly dance every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. Please visit us at 2108 Emerton Road, Suite 3, Bel Air, and like us on Facebook.
And here I have with me the president and CEO of the NAACP, Mr. Ben Jealous. Hello, how are you doing,
All right, good to see you.
Thank you. Let's talk about why you're here tonight at the Leadership Conference.
Well, you know, I'm here tonight to honor Ms. Shirley Sherrod for the work she's been doing for 50 years in Southwest Georgia to heal this country and to help use entrepreneurialism to move people out of poverty. Really tremendous work forming cooperatives of farmers. For instance, they have a black woman-owned pecan cooperative that actually prepares the pecans for market so that the women who own those farms can actually get a better price for their product.
Okay. All right. Now, talk a little bit about the mission of the NAACP, because whenever we think of civil rights and human rights, automatically NAACP comes to mind. So let's talk about the direction that you are trying to take the organization in.
Our focus is the same as it always has been. It is to increase social justice and to end racism. And that's what we focus on every day.
Now, when you say racism, now I think there is a different definition of racism. Is it still a minority? Is it still color? Is it female? Is it gender? What is the mission now for the NAACP?
Well, we increase social justice, and social justice is very inclusive. Racism is fairly straightforward. It's people being discriminated against because of their color, because of their national origin, in some cases. In this country, it's still harder for a black man with no criminal record to find a job than a white man who has a criminal record. And the issue of color and racism is still, unfortunately, at the heart of injustice in this country. A black child is more likely to be punished in a school, not because of what they've done, but because of their color, because of what they are. And study after study has shown that the most determinative factor in whether or how a child will be punished by their school is whether they're black or white. And so we fight to end that every day.
And I'm going to end on this note, but this is just some observation and comments that I hear, because I talk to people a lot, and there seems to be some people who question whether the NAACP is actually at the table. So I wanted to know, are you at the table? And then how do people get involved and help you accomplish the mission that you guys are focused on right now?
It's very easy to join. You can join by going to NAACP.org. We've seen a tremendous increase in membership and in online activism in the NAACP over the last 3 years. Online activists by themselves are 50% just last year, from 330,000 people online to 492,000, following our lead, getting engaged, speaking out on the issues. The first quarter of this year, we saw membership sales go up 25% versus the first quarter of last year. People can find us through NAACP.org. They can find us through our 1,200 active branches, which means that pretty much wherever you live, there's an NAACP near you. And we remain the most powerful fighting force for civil and human rights this country has ever seen.
Okay. All right. I will certainly be following the work that you do.
Thank you.
You are a great speaker, and thank you for giving me some time today.
Thank you.
Any last thoughts that you want to share with our audience?
No, just thank you.
All right. Okay. NAACP, excuse me. Mr. Jealous, thank you.
Welcome to Sizzling Bombay. I'm Chef Mahindra. Please come to our restaurant and enjoy authentic flavors of India with great atmosphere, friendly staff and great food. And enjoy live belly dance every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. Please visit us at 2108 Emerton Road, Suite 3, Bel Air, and like us on Facebook.
I'm Janice McLean DeLoatch, and I'm here with a special segment on civil rights and human rights. We have some wonderful organizations and speakers that will be presented this evening, and we'll have some very insightful questions, I'm hoping, from our audience. And I'm hoping that you guys will learn a lot of knowledge tonight and be empowered and be useful in your community with the knowledge that you learned today.
So do you know what you're here for?
Yeah, I guess y'all think I stole some girl's phone or something like that, but I ain't steal her phone. I really didn't.
No, we know you stole that girl's phone.
I didn't steal her phone. I couldn't have, because I left the party at like 10:15, and everybody's trying to say her phone was stolen at like 11:30 or something like that.
So you saying you left the house at 10:15?
Yeah, I'm saying I left the phone at, I left the party at 10:15.
So you're saying you left the house definitely at 10:15?
Yes, sir.
But we have proof that you left the house at 11:15.
What kind of proof? You don't have any proof?
We have a phone call from the girl's phone saying you left the house at 11:15.
Well, I might have left it like, actually, I think I might have left it like 12:30, like 12:15 or something like that. Actually.
See, you know you done messed up right now. You know that, right?
No, how? Like,
you just snitched on yourself.
Oh.
Two bad options. Some judges in Baltimore City Circuit Courts may offer some criminal defendants two options. One may be, you can go home today, criminal defendant, with 25 years to back up if you should violate, or you can have 8 years in state prison today with 3 years to back up when you come home. Now most people, given those options, are going to say, go home today, and most of them are going to violate and get 20 years in state prison. So this program that I oversee has served 200 people approximately over the last year, and we have 40% of them working. We service men and women. Qualifiers for participation are former incarceration at any point in life, and they also must have dependent children, either in their custody or not. The reason for that is we want to have positive generational impact in one household. So to provide, depending on the age of the children, orange juice, milk, and Frosted Flakes, that should motivate the parents to get out and work. And as those children get older, I'm sure you know, replacement cell phones and flat panel screen TVs in those children's rooms or in the living room would be even more motivation to get up and work. So it's a passion of mine. I have been formerly incarcerated myself. That's one of the reasons that I was hired for this job, but that's not my only credential. I also hold a master's degree in vocational rehabilitation counseling. So I, as well as Dr. Vernon Savage, the psychologist, who provides individual couples and children's counseling to my participants, have been reincarcerated. So he with a PhD in psychology, me with a master's degree, and with criminal histories are testaments to what can be achieved in spite of a criminal history.
Yes, sir.
So the participants have no excuses. Locally, in Maryland, 1,200 people were released every month from state prisons. That's almost 15,000 people a year. And in the state prisons in Maryland, 70% of the population are African American males. Another 9.9% are African American females. So you don't have to be a statistician to know 80% of the state prison population African American. We are approximately African Americans in this state, about 16% of the population. So I've heard retired circuit court judges speak, and they say, same offense, different result. If you're at Camden Yards, anyone, with an open container or M&T Bank Stadium, it's a civil citation. A citation will be written, you appear in court. If you are at Fulton Avenue, say in North Avenue, open container, it's an arrestable offense. So I mention that to my participants and I say, do you know why there's that disparity? It's because if you're at Camden Yards or M&T Bank Stadium, the police do not know who you are, what you have, who you know, and what strings you can pull. The assumption if you're arrested at Fulton Avenue and North Avenue is you probably are not working, you don't own any property, and you couldn't pull any strings if you wanted to. So the work that I'm doing, we're into our second year now, and this program was devised. It was devised and is implemented by myself. So I'm not only program manager, but I facilitate the instruction. 2 weeks of employment readiness as well as essential life skills. Just the ability to pick up the phone and say, hello, my name is, my credentials are, I'm interested in employment, and to set up an interview. I walk the participants through the process of filling out employment applications completely, entirely, and legibly. Just take a couple extra seconds. I tell them to make sure your name and your address and your zip code is legible. Because if it is not, your employment application will probably get trashed, and that may explain no callbacks in the past. We also have mock interviews. We have a lot of fun with that, but we take care of business to see how many times the participants say, and maybe they have never seen themselves on film. Just 7-8 minutes, but they have all reported that it is instructive for them when they go out on real interviews. The philosophy of America Works is rapid attachment to work. So many of the participants are employed before the 2 weeks is up.
Wow.
So I have the philosophy of America Works is rapid attachment to work. Although there's a 2-week training component for this ex-offender or formerly incarcerated program, many of the participants are employed before the 2 weeks is up. So, yes, it is.
We've had two authoritative studies that have told us that we don't need a new youth jail. What we need is better organization of the justice system and alternatives to prison. And we want to use the balance of the money that would have been used for the jail to fund opportunity in our impoverished, isolated neighborhoods.
What we want to build in our district is a place where people, young people, can succeed. It is, you know, if we took care and gave the opportunities to young people who are deserving, if we did that, we would have no need to have this house that they want to build for our young people. They've already decided. They've already understand, you know this, that they want to build a jail that's 3 times as big as the one they have now because they've already determined that that's where they want to put our children. Instead of building our school buildings, instead of renovating our schools, stop closing our rec centers and our pools. I know my timer is here.
And that is what we're here for. Thank you.
We're here for opportunity.
Welcome to Sizzling Bombay. I'm Chef Mahindra. Please come to our restaurant and enjoy authentic flavors of India with great atmosphere, friendly staff and great food. And enjoy live belly dance every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. Please visit us at 2108 Emerton Road, Suite 3, Bel Air, and like us on Facebook.
I'm just gonna go around and let the panelists introduce themselves, and we're gonna talk with them a little bit about why they're here, why this play was so special, and hear their take on it. And we're gonna start with Kimberly Lynn on the end.
Hello. Hello, I'm the Theater Events Coordinator here at the University of Baltimore, and my friends and I quite often debate whether or not there is a separate category for social justice theater, or if all theater actually is social justice theater, because it should reflect its culture, and I feel very strongly about that. I saw this piece first several years ago at Mobtown and fell in love with it and loved it right away, and as soon as I got this position here, putting performing arts into this beautiful space, the Exonerated was always on the list. And I had to wait for a couple other productions locally to be produced so we wouldn't be in competition with it. And when I did, I asked my good friend Rain Pryor. I just had this gut feeling that somehow she was connected to it, and she was, and I had no idea.
Okay. And you are?
I am Rain Pryor. I'm the director of the piece, thanks to Kimberly Lynn. And I actually was in the Exonerated in Edinburgh, Scotland with Aidan Quinn and Robert Carradine. And so I had a great experience doing the show and became friends with Jessica Blank and Eric Jensen, the writers of the piece, and sort of kept in touch. So I was really excited when Kimberly said that they were doing it. I feel it's a very powerful piece. Just dealing with one, of course, a great human rights issue, but one that I think we sort of really need to address here in the United States. So I thought it was important.
Thank you. And?
I'm Colin Starker. I'm a professor here at the University of Baltimore at the law school, and I was formerly a staff attorney at the Innocence Project in New York, which has probably helped a lot of people understand about the issue of the problem of innocent people being wrongly convicted through their work in DNA exonerations. And Kimberly had invited me to come to the play so I could help answer perhaps some technical questions that people might have about the bigger picture of innocence. The play does a really wonderful job of dramatically illustrating the stories of individuals and how injustice became to them and the impact upon their lives. And I maybe have a picture of it from slightly less interesting but important from a policy perspective.
Wow. You guys are awesome. This is an awesome group. I'm sitting here like, wow, I'm sitting here in this group. Okay. And my friend Max, that's it. Thank you. Max, let's talk about
It's Max Obashevsky. One of the groups I'm with is Chesapeake Physicians for Social Responsibility. I actually saw this play here in Baltimore at the Mechanic Theater some years ago, and it blew me away, to say the least. I'm going to see the play, this production, tomorrow. But as I understand it, the two writers were not exactly death penalty opponents. They only came to that conclusion after going over these cases. And I was just wondering how many people in the audience tonight and yesterday were actually on the fence. I'm hoping there were some people on the fence on this particular issue that just might be motivated by this play to recognize the insanity of the death penalty. Also, I don't think this is because the stars were aligned, but this play is being performed at a time where we're debating the repeal of the death penalty in the state of Maryland. And I and many others are going to do our best to try to get rid of this awful, 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 awful form of injustice.
Thank you, Max. And to my right, we have Stephanie.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Gibson. I'm chair of the communications department here at the University of Baltimore, and I've been an anti-death penalty activist for the past 15 years, working against the death penalty, mostly here in Maryland. I've also done some work at a national level. My group, Maryland Citizens Against State Executions, Maryland case, works mostly legislatively. We do some, outside action, but mostly we work trying to get legislators to sponsor and vote in favor of repeal bills. And we've been doing that for a number of years. We're very hopeful. I don't know about this year, but maybe next year, maybe this year, who knows? We're really hopeful.
Well, I just want to say thank you to all of you for sitting with me today, and I'm not going to take up a whole bunch of time with questions because the audience asked a lot of great questions that all of you gave great answers to, and you guys will get to see that shortly coming up. So what I want to do is thank you and say stay tuned. We're going to go straight into the play and see what you think about it. But before we go, I'd like to just ask our panelists if there were one thing that you could change, what would it be? Briefly. We'll start with you, Kim.
Can we start with someone else? The one thing that we can change, I think I kind of feel like we need to edit out of this part.
Okay, we'll come back.
One thing that we can change.
Not about the play, you mean about...
No, about the case, right.
Justice system.
Justice system.
I
would say...
We need the justice
I would say
system.
take Texas out of the United States of America. That would be what I would like to change. That's my vote.
I like that. Yes.
Go ahead.
Repeal the death penalty. That's what I'd like to change.
And I'd try to cure us for this addiction for incarceration. I think we have far too many people in prison, and that we shouldn't have that many people. It's inconsistent with our values as a nation of being the land of the free.
And in the state of Maryland, just to interject, they're actually building 2 new jails.
Yeah.
One for women, did you hear about that? And one for juveniles.
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
Yay.
More children in jail.
Right.
That's
and
all
women.
Yeah,
Matt?
that's what we need.
Well, something we didn't discuss earlier, this is preposterous. Let's forget about repealing the death penalty for a moment. Deal with what we have. Why can I not sit on a jury trial in a death penalty case as an abolitionist, somebody that's opposed? The law excludes me from being on the jury.
Right.
Now, is that a fixed system?
Yeah.
Well,
Stephanie?
Because of the work I've been doing, I would have to say that I would repeal the death penalty. I mean, I can't say anything. I can say no other.
No, that's fine. And and here's where it all starts. So I thank you all
Very much
for your
so.
time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. And you at home are in for a treat, and we really would love to hear from you. And if you'd like to be involved and help, please contact marylandcase.org. Yep. And I guess Stephanie can help steer you to wherever you need to get to from there.
Absolutely, yeah.
And or Kimberly Lynn, would you like to give a number or just want people to contact
There's an
you?
exonerated fund.
Yes, the exonerated fund that you can go to. You can also look up the exonerated, go to 45 Bleecker, Allen Buckwald, and you will find.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.